Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Just Two Idiots Cup Series. It's the weekly sprint night here at Okayama, and it's going to be a good one as we get ready for the Notice Me Okayama Senpai Sprint. It's a packed house tonight, 22 drivers making their way out and ready for an action-packed evening. As always, I'm your host, James E. Spring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, let's go ahead and run through the grid here tonight, starting on pole. Beaver, the number 10 machine. Squilliam starting second. Alex Carver starts third. Wallace starting fourth. Simply Steve starts fifth. Raymond Aguilar starting sixth. DC starting seventh. Ed Medust starting eighth. AJ starting ninth. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, starting 10th. John Downey starting 11th. We've got Urko starting 12th in that 33 machine. Cycled on back. We've got, Nicolator, the number 5, starting 13th. Prince Adam starting 14th. Lieutenant Dan starting 15th. Joe Albanese starting 16th. Garlic Dog starts 17th. James McKinney starting 18th. Book starting 19th. 976. And the aptly numbered 976 machine starting 20th. McMurk starting 21st. And then a DNS will be James East in the 355 machine. Looks like just about everybody out on the grid. Going to be at a bit of an extended start there. As we get ready, as always, thank you to our fans, friends, and family coming out supporting the league, supporting your favorite driver, as well as supporting the broadcast. Let us know in the chat where you're from and who you're cheering on. A very busy grid here at Okayama. 21 drivers. It's a two-race format tonight as we get ready for the lights to go on and rapidly drop. There goes Beaver. Oh, it looked like that was Carver with an absolute dreadful start in the 079 machine. As the field sends it 3 wide into turn 1. Carver gets bullied to the outside line, going to fall all the way back to 8th. Look at Wallace in the 666 machine also falling back. Hard Charger so far, Simply Steve in 3rd. Ray Aguilar in 4th, both up 2 positions here. And at front it's Beaver and Squilliam nose to tail. 20 laps or 20 minutes, whatever comes first, as that's AJ with an off-track excursion mowing the grass here at Okayama. Hesitantly getting back out on track. We did have a crash as well to start tonight off with Albanese having issues. Let's see what happened there to the number 02 machine. Oh, looks like got a little bit of help there. Contact and around goes the 02. Thankfully, not too much damage as we go back to the battle for the top 5, and it's very, very frantic. It's Wallace, Edmundus, McAllister, all in the fray. Everybody bumping and grinding. Does that look like, was that McAllister? I think, no, that was Carver in the 079. Carver just getting absolutely bullied out here at Okayama. Down 7 spots thus far. We got Jorge joining us from California, cheering on the 976 machine. As we check back up front, Beaver and Squilliam, a bit of a breakaway. They're about a half second up over Simply Steve, who has Ray Aguilar sitting in 4th. Wallace still holding on to 5th. But we've got, oh my, here we go, a massive pileup. Looked like DC was in that one. I think I saw 976 Urko going off track. We'll try to get a replay queued up, and it's very, very frantic here. Let's see if we can get that replay focused on DC, that number 3 machine. Does he get a little bit of help from behind from McAllister? Oh no, a self-spin. McAllister gets into him. DC pirouetting around there. Looks like able to keep going though. As we're focused in on the battle just inside the top 10. You've got Adam, McAllister, Downey, Nicolator, Garlic Dog, all in a tidy little pack. As we go on board with Garlic Dog in the 199 machine, wondering if maybe he's a Pastrana fan. And personally, I am a huge fan of these Radical SR8s. Leads to some really good racing. As that looked like it was Prince Adam. Yes, the number 13 machine pointing the wrong direction. Trying to get it fired back up to get back out on track. But no matter where we point the camera, just fantastic racing. You've got Nicolator and McAllister battling for 8th. McAllister makes the move a little bit further back. We saw Book, Garlic Dog, John Downey. There's McMeer, AJ, Urko, all in the fray. Now Beaver, your race leader, clicked off on 123.21 last time by, starting to stretch away from the field. As Alex Carver trying to fight back after such a rough start here tonight. The 079 machine has crawled his way back into 6th. But Edmund Dust, the number 24 machine, has the nose pointing the right direction, trying to keep that forward momentum up. Let's check in on Squilliam in second. Squilliam trying to work that draft behind Beaver. You can also see Simply Steve in the 023 machine, who's getting some love from Sheridan Willard. Squilliam having a great run here. We had another crash report. Lieutenant Dan has another issue. Oh, that spoiler all sorts of out of shape here. I mean, that whole car is just mangled, so a total lack of downforce spins the 000 machine around. As we check in on 15th place Urko, the 33, you can see AJ, McMurk, Downey, and Garlic Dog not too far ahead. As the field's starting to bunch up here, it doesn't matter where you look out on track, there's great racing to be had. And it looks like that may be Lieutenant Dan not too far ahead in the 000. We saw the damage. Oh, as we hint at some more side-by-side action. Not a lot of real estate here at Okayama to make big moves. That's the 99 machine of Downey with a fair amount of spoiler damage as well. That's going to really affect the downforce in these machines. As there looks like McMurk. No, that was Book in the 056 side-by-side with Downey in the battle for 11th. Beaver out front joining the Clean Air sets yet again, a fastest lap of the race. James McKinney off track. So Downey's going to hold on to the 11th place spot. Book up 7 positions in the 056, holding on to 12. Still battling with McMurk, AJ, and Urko, who are on a very tidy pack here. There's Urko in the 33 working the outside line against AJ in the 45. Cuts inside, makes the move, and makes it stick. Let's see, McMurk tries to fire back in the 27. And we are 3 wide at Okayama. Looks like Urko's gonna make it. No, it's gonna be McMurk and the 27, holding on to the 13th place position. That's gonna put Urko down 2 spots from where he started. AJ now down 6. They'll have all 21 drivers that entered out on track. As we check in on Beaver, rocking and rolling in that number 10 machine. Now Beaver, currently your points leader, up 38 points over William Hansensfar, which I believe is Squilliam. But we've got to go back to this battle for 13th with McMurk, Urko, and AJ. Still anybody's guess who's going to make it happen here. Downey, the 99 machine, has problems. Falls back to 14th. Now he's squarely in the fray. That's going to move Book, Urko, and McMurk up a position. Now there are no planned pit stops for this opening race. We're going to run this thing clean and green start to finish. The second race of the night, though, we are expecting a fuel stop from these drivers. As we go on board with Albanese in the O2 machine, just ahead, that's Downey, AJ, and McMurk having a very fierce three-car battle for 13th. And it definitely seems like a very early race of attrition. Also have a battle shaping up for third as well. Simply Steve holding on to it well in the 0-2-3. But he's got Raymond Aguilar in the 72 machine starting to close that gap up to about 6.5 tenths of a second. Aguilar, a newcomer to the Just 2 Idiots Cup Series, but starting to get things figured out. Steve in the 0-2-3. Aguilar looks like he's in the Taco Bell back 72 machine. Oh, Book has issues in the 0.56, drops way down the standings to 18th. After 9 seconds of off track, losing half the field and most importantly the draft. Speaking of the draft though, McMurk trying to shake off AJ in that 45 machine, having a very tough go of it as the 27 machine holds on to that 12th place spot, up 9 spots gained so far. And man, Beaver up front just getting faster and faster, a 122 flat. And oh, there's big problems for Alex Jinja Carver. Looks like that is the final corner. Grabbed a little bit of curbing there. Well, a little bit too much on that one. Spins it around. And just noses it on in at the start-finish line wall. Oh, but problems starting to complicate here. Carver starting to get a little bit frustrated. Got too much heat in the tires. Oh, look at the front end of that car. Very careful on the rejoin. Carver now back to 14th. There goes Joe Albanese, Prince Adam, and DC. And they are dropping like flies at the Notice Me Senpai sprint race here at Okayama. We have another crash report. Prince Adam, big problems. Looks like DC was off track as well. Was there a little bit of help there for the number 13 machine, or is it going to be a solo party? The driver in front just locked up, and I think Adam and then DC just upset the car trying to get it slowed down. Next thing you know, around she goes. As next time by, we'll be throwing out the cross green and white flag signifying the halfway mark. Carver comes down pit road in the 079. That machine's just taking too much damage. Gonna try and get some repairs done here. Beaver just cruising out front. That number 10 machine has built up a 2.6 second gap over Squilliam. Simply Steve's holding on to the final podium position here in third. And looks like two close battles out on track. Simply Steve and Ray Aguilar. A battle shaping up for third. You've also got AJ and John Downey trying to get together to tango for 12th. Going to be interested to see how this unfolds 9 laps in. Will we see any big moves, or drivers going to be relatively content just to stay in their position? Maybe pressure the driver in front and see if they can force the issue that way. Now, I've called Aguilar Racing in other machines before. I have not seen him in the SRA Radical as of yet. Historically, he's a very aggressive driver. Not sure if that's going to change being a newcomer at a new league to the 72, but it's going to be interesting to see. As let's go back to the 3-car battle for 11th. It's McMurk, AJ, Downey. McMurk and AJ side by side through turn 1. Oh, looks like McMurk pushes a little bit wide there. Is that going to allow Downey an opportunity to put his nose in the mix? AJ comes out on top in the number 45, holding on to the 11th place spot. Meanwhile, we go on board with Aguilar in the 72 has closed the gap to less than 2/10 rather briefly, and a big moment there for Steve. Simply Steve almost loses it in the 0-2-3. Aguilar backs out of it, doesn't push the issue quite too much. And what is going on here? Aguilar and Steve. Big issues. That's going to put Wallace up into third. Let's get that replay queued up at the 2 podium contenders. Oh, Aguilar gives him a hearty shove from behind, and around they both go. That's going to put Black Bob Wallace in the 666. Now he's suddenly in a podium spot. The fans are going to be massively disappointed for Steve in that 0-2-3 machine. We've got Awesome Camo join us as well. He raced the TGS Endurance here at Okayama and had a fantastic time. Need to get out here for the J2ICS series. A lot of fun. These guys run an alternative schedule. Radical SR8s Wednesday nights 1 week. The next week, Wednesday nights, same time. Their own mini endurance featuring LMDHs as well as GT3s, and of course both series broadcasted live by Team Goon Squad. Albanese and DC, very tight here, running 14th and 15th. Fastest lap of the race still held though by Beaver and that number 10. Your current race leader as well as points leader. Is DC going to hop out of the draft here and try and make something happen in turn 1? Looks like that number 3 machine is going to be content following along for a little while longer. And another battle we have out on track. Speaking of draft battles, at Edmundas versus McAllister, the 24 versus the 35. McAllister hops out of the draft, 2 riders right. Oh, possibly a little bit net code between the two. As Edmundas looked like he got pushed wide there. McAllister first into the hairpin, but Edmundas going to fire back to the inside line. Oh, side by side racing. McAllister dips a tire into the gravel trap. But it looks like McAllister's going to carry a little bit more speed, putting that 35 machine up into 6th. Seven laps left to go here at Okayama for the opening race of the night. A short 20-lap race to kick things off here this evening. And I believe it's going to be twice the laps for the following event. We have a little bit of a blink there from Discord. Not quite sure what happened. Thankfully, doesn't affect the broadcast too much as we keep this happening. As let's check back in on race leader Beaver. Man, that is what a massive 4.5 second gap looks like. Alternatively, if we pan the camera to Book and Adam, Prince Adam battling for 16th. Book, the 056, Prince Adam, the number 13 machine, less than a tenth separating these drivers. Look at Prince Adam hard on the brakes there. Makes it happen to the hairpin, sneaking by, taking over the 16th place spot. And around they go. Is that Book? Looks for an opening, no such luck. And we had several crashes in one spot there. Shows Book, Albanese, Adam all involved. Let's take a look at it once more from Book's perspective, the 056. Can't quite tell if he got into Adam. But late into the race, and they're dropping like flies. McMurk also having an issue with number 27. There goes Albanese in the 02, able to slide up into 14th. Absolute carnage here at Okayama. Really from about 10th place back is where we've seen most of the action. A couple drivers fairly close inside the top 10. McAllister, who made that move on Edmundus just a few laps prior. Edmundus hanging on about a second back, but the top 5 very spread out, more than a 4 seconds separating each of these drivers. And just about everybody was within a second inside the top 10 during qualifying. So it gives you an idea of just how stacked this field is. As we check back in on Beaver, he's working through lap traffic. I believe that is McKinney, the number 16 machine, trailing behind the number 10, who's a lap down now. Beaver just flicking around the number 10. He's had pretty much an uncontested race, qualified on pole, has led, I believe, every lap so far here. Oh, but look at the back end stepping out of the number 10 machine. You can tell he's definitely got some heat in the tires, maybe a little bit too much heat. Has to be mindful to not... Oh, and the checkered flag is out. We've hit the 20-minute mark. So Beaver will pick up the win here in the opening race of the night. Squilliam will lock up second, and Wallace, as he rounds the final corner, will finish inside the top 3. We're going to see if we can get these top 3 up in the weighing room, but well done to Beaver, Squilliam, and Black Bob Wallace for some massive wins here. So let's get the results queued up for the fans at home. And we'll have a brief intermission before our final race of the night. It was Beaver the top spot, the number 10 machine, Squilliam finishing second, and Black Bob Wallace in the 666 machine will score third here. Let's see, it looks like our software is trying to cooperate. We'll run a very brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the final race of the night at the Notice Me Senpai Sprint Series here at Okayama. Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Up now as we've got 3-wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
J2ICS up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
All right, we're going to do this in record time. Join us in second place is Squilliam. Will, welcome up here, man. I know we kind of ran out of time there in the intermission, but tell us how things went from your point of view.
Oh man, that was fun. Tried my best to get around Beaver early and just couldn't get there. And then kind of struggled to keep pace with him. He was definitely putting in some laps that were a tenth or two faster. Had a couple bobbles here and there, but we got like 5 minutes to go, and so I decided to just kind of chill out, save the second position. He was like 4 seconds ahead at that point. There wasn't any point in ruining a race just to try to catch something that wasn't going to happen. So.
Well, a lot of fun for us to watch up here in the booth as well as for the fans at home. We know you've got the final race coming, so real quickly, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you bring home the second here tonight?
Shout out to my boy Adam for being a good teammate and helping me every race, trying to figure out the car and things like that. So shout out to him.
Awesome. Will, always a pleasure, my friend.
Of course.
And again, we're doing rapid fire. I know we don't have much time. Beaver, welcome to the top spot. You've got 22 seconds. Tell us about your race.
Oh, it's all right. You have another 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, I thought it was a 5-minute intermission.
You're lucky. We got a 10-minute one.
Oh, hooray! Well, then take your time, kick your feet up. Tell me about how your evening going, and walk me through that one.
Yeah. The start went okay. There was a lot of pressure from Squilliam and I think Alex Carver there at the beginning. I'm not super confident in these cars on cold tires because when these tires are cold, they are very cold. And I've shot myself in the foot before. But once the heat came in, I was able to build a gap and get away from the draft. And things worked well after that.
Now, Nick, we didn't see you in practice until Tuesday where you clicked off a 122.168, but really I think the entire top 10 after tonight's qualifying separated by less than a second. Were you expecting the field to be that tight coming into tonight?
It doesn't surprise me. The skill in this league has gotten so... It's kind of narrowed in. the skill is really coming together. There was a point when maybe there could have been 4 cars within a second. You know, it used to be stretched out, but a lot of people here put so much time and practice in. It's awesome to see the reward that they're getting out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. I mean, no matter where we pan the camera from 1st to 16th, there was great racing all across the track here at the Notice Me Okayama Senpai Sprint. And I know the 40-minute race is going to be eye-opening as well. What's the strategy going to be for you in the number 10 machine as far as pits? I mean, is it kind of depending where you're on track, or do you have anything planned for this one?
I do not have anything planned. I think a good strategy for me is just to pit around halfway. I don't use crew chief. I don't, and this car doesn't have that auto fuel fill. So I I don't know how much fuel to put in. It's usually a guess, some mental calculation. But if I pit around halfway, I know how much fuel I've used. Therefore, I know how much fuel I have to need. Goodness, I am having a blabber tonight. But yeah. Anyway, you get the point. Pit at halfway. Hopefully, I'm in a good spot position-wise. Starting 8th. I'm going to try to take it super cautious, getting through the field. But 40 minutes is a long time. Don't need to make any quick movements.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. We wish you the best of luck in that number 10 machine, and interested to see how that strategy is going to work out for you. But before we let you go, get ready for this long format race. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped to bring home the win here for you?
Well, I hadn't thought about that either. Just a shout out to all of J2I and the new guys. There's Raymond Aguilar, Gareth McAllister. Gosh, I see your name on the standings too. But anyway, it's really cool to have all you new guys here. I think the league's really blowing up, and for the better. We're bringing a lot of talent into this. So shout out to all the J2I guys.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. Looking forward to a great cap off to the night, and best of luck out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And that was Beaver bringing home the win for the opening race of the night. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the final 40-minute race of the evening. All right, race fans, it's time. The final event of the night, the 40-minute feature event at the Notice Me Okayama Senpai Sprint. And don't forget, the top 8 is going to be inverted here. So it's Nicolator starting the number 1 spot, Edmund Dust starting 2nd, McAllister starts 3rd, Ray Aguilar starting 4th, Simply Steve starting 5th, Black Bob Wallace starting 6th, Squilliam starting 7th, and Beaver will round out that inverted top 8. Get ready for a good one. 40 minutes, expecting one pit stop here tonight. Now in our pre-race notes, the anticipated pit window said, we're not quite sure. Anticipated tire change? Mayhaps is the answer. Time loss in the pits? Anybody's guess. So that's all we've got for pre-race notes. So it's going to be exciting to see how this one pans out. And don't forget, next week we've got the Crown Jewel event next week for the Endurance Series at Sebring. You're going to want to tune into that same time, same place. Every Wednesday night, the J2ICS broadcasted by Team Goon Squad. Lights are off, away we go. Edmundus gets a great launch, the number 24 machine. Nicolator looks like he may lose this spot here into turn one as they're side by side. Edmundus working the inside line, but we've got problems in the back. James McKinney, 976, both involved in an early incident. Looked like Ray Aguilar losing a spot in the 72 machine. 976 and McKinney takes the tow back to pit road. Let's get that replay queued up, see what just happened. Was it a problem off the line? Oh, you can definitely say that. Up, over, and to the moon he goes. Let's go back live, though, as we've got more problems with issues. Excuse me, more drivers with issues. McAllister involved in an incident. Looks like Lieutenant Dan also takes a tow back. Let's tune in and focus in on McAllister in 35. Oh, McAllister loops it around right in the middle of the race line. Gets absolutely drilled, and who is that behind getting sent to the Shadow Realm? I see the 13 machine of Adam, and it is very early, and they are dropping like flies as it looks like that Steve Downey, Carver, Book, AJ Wallace, all involved in a bit of a kershuffle. That's going to be the word of the night here at Okayama. We're going to get rid of Senpai and add in kershuffle. Edmundus hold on to the race lead in the number 24 machine. Nicolator in second. Ray Aguilar holding on to third, but keep an eye out. Beaver, the number 10 machine, has worked his way up into fourth. That's up 4 positions so far. McAllister, Wallace, Prince Adam all down pit road. Not what they were hoping for, as it looks like here we go. Aguilar and Nicolator putting on a battle for second. Aguilar able to hold on to second place spot, but man, that is a talented top five. It's Edmundus, Aguilar, Nicolator, Beaver, Squilliam. Nicolator makes a move, but oh, who's going to come out on top here? Nicolator gets shuffled back to fifth. That's going to be 4 spots down after starting on pole. So expecting about 30 laps here in this final event of the evening. And oh, the top 4 really bunching up. Really, it's anybody's guess in the top 5, as they are separated by about 1.7 seconds from Edmundus in first and Nicolator in fifth. Aguilar looking a little bit racy, tucked in behind Edmundus. But it's Squilliam, the fastest lap of the race, at 124.1. Right behind Edmundus and Aguilar, Beaver and Squilliam having their own battle. Very heated battle for third. Nicolator, who was your race leader with the inverted top 8 grid, he's fallen way back from these top 4 drivers who are working the draft against each other. Here comes Squilliam, takes a peek to the inside line. Aguilar also looked for an opening that just wasn't there as they funnel into the hairpin. And Beaver and Squilliam putting on a show wheel to wheel here, narrowly avoiding contact. That's going to give Edmundus and Aguilar just the tiniest bit of breakaway, as they are still side by side. Looks like Beaver finally going to get an edge in and firmly put Squilliam behind. But again, Squilliam does have the fastest lap of the race. This battle for third, kind of slowing the pace down slightly. This time it's going to be Edmundus with the fastest lap of the race, a 123.98. A full 10th. Oh, look at that. Simply Steve back in 8th, though. Clicks off a barn burner. A 123.74. Absolutely moving in that 023 machine. Steve still down 3 spots from where he started, but showing great pace and great promise. Aguilar all up in the gearbox of the number 24 machine of Edmundus. Still not able to find an opening, and Beaver doing the same. Oh, contact between Beaver and Aguilar. That may allow Squilliam an opportunity to strike and get up into 3rd. Squilliam had fantastic pace in the practice rounds this week, but just not quite able to get up there in the mix. These drivers so equally matched. As there's Edmundus and Aguilar side by side for the race lead. Your top 4 drivers separated by less than a half second. Oh, the draft is going to be a little bit exciting here coming out of the start-finish line. Aguilar pulls up alongside Edmundus, the challenge for the lead. We hint at 3 wide action. There's Beaver. Oh, we're 2 wide and 2 rows deep here. Edmundus and Aguilar side by side for the race lead. Contact amongst the race leaders. Edmundus gets bumps back to 4th just like that. Squilliam up into 2nd. Beaver now in 3rd. But Squilliam's not going to stop there, putting the pressure on Aguilar in the Taco Bell back 72. Squilliam sneaks up the inside line, takes over the race lead. Edmundus has fallen back slightly, about a half second behind these top 3 drivers. But if Squilliam, Aguilar, and Beaver keep up this fray, there's a very good chance Edmundus can still get back in it. But Squilliam with clean air in front as Aguilar and Beaver go side by side. He's going to try and hammer down that number 6 machine, enjoy the clean air, see if he can break the draft of the drivers behind him. Because if Aguilar and Beaver keep up the side by side fray here, they're going to lose the draft of the number 6 machine. And how close these guys have been on pace, it is going to be very tough to capitalize. Edmundus locking up the brakes there in the number 24. Falling back slightly as we go back to Urko and DC. They're having their own battle for the top 5. And there's also Simply Steve, Nicolator, Alex, Jinja Carver not too far out of it as well. We said it in the sprint, we're going to say it again, all across the track, fantastic racing. As you are now watching the battle for 5th, Urko's pulled about a 6/10 advantage over Steve, but Simply Steve has DC, Nicolator, and Carver breathing down his neck. Oh, and a little bit of contact there. I think that was going to be between Steve and possibly Nicolator. Too tough to call. As Beaver makes a move on Aguilar for the 2nd place position. We've got to go back though. This battle what is now for 6th. You're watching Nicolator, Carver, DC, slicing and dicing. As that is Carver and DC side by side. DC wants to catch back up to his teammate Urko. And you can really see as well how these 21 drivers really rubbering down the track now. Lieutenant Dan did retire from this main event in the 000, but the other 20 drivers that started still out on track. And this is what you're talking about. Squilliam clicks off a 122.7, uncontested out front. Not having any issues and really enjoying the clean air here. This is where he is definitely strongest. Let's check in on that race leader and the number 6 machine. He's got a 1.2 second gap over Beaver. Both Squilliam in first, Beaver in second. Up 6 positions, but a hard charger so far tonight. Alex Carver in that 079 machine, after a very rough go in the opening sprint, is now up 15 positions from his starting position, so making some forward momentum. About 1.4 seconds back from, let's make it about 1.25 back from Urko in the 33 machine. It'll be interesting to see if Carver can maybe bring home a top 5. Interesting to note as well, Beaver, the fastest lap of the race, his last time by a 122.48. Your current points leader picked up the win in the sprint, looking good here. Now you heard Squilliam say, hey, I didn't have the pace to keep up with him. But now Squilliam has a 1.1 second advantage over that number 10 machine. I'm wondering if a little bit of fuel strategy is going to come into play. You heard Beaver say, hey, it doesn't matter when, how, or what the reason, I'm coming in at the halfway mark, so I know I'm going to make it till the end on fuel. Maybe Squilliam has a different pit strategy. Beaver has closed the gap to right at a second. Joe Albanese has issues though. The 02 machine, oh, look at the damage on the back of the 02. He's struggling to get down pit road. So he'll be one of the first drivers for a green flag pit stop. Let's see what happened to the back right. I would imagine a spin and a little bit of help. No, just drills the wall. Really not that hard of an impact, but enough to really damage that machine. And then Book goes for an oopsie daisy in the start-finish line. The replay button's going to get worn out here at Okayama. Senpai will be noticed. It looks like it's going to be a solo incident. Grabs a little bit of gravel, yeets it around, and just absolutely hammers that 056 machine. The Book will fall back to 14th, and unfortunately, he's going to have to fight all the way around the track here before he can come down pit road and try and get that thing hammered back into what would look somewhat like a race car, because right now, just a crumpled mess of awful. And that 056, there goes Prince Adam, taking over the 15th place spot. A little bit further ahead, DC has pressure from Nicolator in the battle for 7th. Oh, more incidents out on track. There's McMurk. And the 27, looks like everything's still pointing in the right direction at least. As we go on board with Nicolator, the number 5, he's down 7 spots from where he started, still holding on to 8th. About 3/4 of a second is what you're looking at between Nicolator and 8th, DC and 7th. And things are happening up front. Beaver closing the gap to Squilliam. Down to 7/10. Looks like Beaver just kind of biding his time here. Getting to a rhythm, clicking off laps. His last time by, only 1/100th of a second off of his fastest lap of the race. Urko and number 33 machine down pit road. But we are just about 15 minutes into this 40-minute maximum feature event. And most pit stops so far have been out of necessity with heavy damage. As right now the screen pointed at our top 2 drivers. Squilliam, your race leader, the number 6 machine. Beaver running second, the number 10. The top 3 is rounded out by newcomer Raymond Aguilar in the 72. He's holding on up 1 spot from where he started. And still 6/10 separating these top 2. Beaver just kind of riding in a groove. Now we saw Beaver what looked to be overheating his tires in the sprint race. I wonder if he's being a bit more mindful of that in this long format feature. Looks like Squilliam gains a little bit of time in the final few sections. Getting great drive in the start-finish line, putting about 2/10 advantage over Beaver. Simply Steve, the 023 machine, coming down pit road for his green flag stop. It seems to me like in the tighter corners is where Beaver finding his stride here. Closing the gap back down to Squilliam. Maybe picking up a little bit of traffic before they go into the hairpin, but there's going to be lap traffic on the horizon for your first and second place drivers. I think that may be AJ in the 45. No, I stand corrected. I think that's 976 who your race leaders are about to be coming up on. 976 has had a few issues here tonight, but still out on track, clicking off laps, maximizing those points he can grab. Beaver closes the gap to Squilliam, now down to less than a half second. It's 4/10 separating the 2. As we get ready to come out into the start-finish line, is Beaver going to make a move here? Or I almost wonder if that number 10 machine did a little bit of fuel saving behind the number 6. It looks like Squilliam trying to break the draft before going into turn 1. Yeah, I think Beaver might be doing a little bit of fuel saving. Giving up almost 2/10 to Squilliam. Edmund Dust, number 24, down pit road for his green flag stop. But here we go, lap traffic, the blue flags will be out. The race leaders have to be very mindful here to cut through traffic. Looks like 976 does a great job hopping off of the race line saying, hey, get by me as quick as you can, race leaders. And look at that, wing the gearbox, Squilliam and Beaver, your top 2 drivers. I don't think Beaver's gonna hop out of line here. I think he's more than content sitting behind Squilliam. Oh, Squilliam almost has a moment. Very far off into the kitty litter of the gravel trap. A minute and 40 seconds until we are at the halfway mark. So is Beaver going to pit this time by or stay out another lap? I'd imagine we see that number 10 machine stay out another lap based on what he told us in the sprint race interview. Let's go a little bit further back. Great racing in the battle for 10th. Gareth McAllister and McMurk briefly side by side. McAllister takes over the 10th place spot in the 35, still down 7 spots from where he started. But McAllister did have to come down pit road after lap 1 to get that 35 machine hammered back into shape. So definitely an uphill battle for the young Aussie. who I believe this may be his sprint race debut here at the J2ICS series. Or it may just be the J2IC series, so we don't have redundancy up here in the booth. I'll have to look into that. On board again with Beaver, a half second back from Squilliam. Oh, hard on the brakes. You can see how much wheel input Beaver had to put into that machine to keep things where he wanted it. And we are at the halfway mark of this final event of the night of the Notice Me Senpai Okayama Sprint. So the green and white flags are crossed by Barney, our flagman. Well, the top two drivers come down pit road this time by as Beaver looks a little bit out of sorts. William, he's had his fair share of exciting moments as well. As they get ready to catch up to Book in the 056 machine, it will be going another lap down. Unless we see Squilliam and Beaver down pit road together, these guys are sliding all over the place. Going to be very interesting to see if they finally take tires on this pit stop, if they're just going to splash fuel, but they will stay out another lap. Beaver tucked in right behind, 2/10 off Squilliam. Oh, narrowly avoiding contact. Beaver hard on the brakes. I don't know how he didn't get into the back of Squilliam. Nicolator comes down pit road for his one and only green flag stop, or one and only planned green flag stop. And still, Squilliam and Beaver bumping and grinding coming out of the hairpin. So Nicolator's down pit road, McMurk also down pit road. And man, Squilliam and Beaver putting on a show for the fans here at Okayama. I'm not sure how they've managed to avoid crashing. They've got so incredibly close. We have the replay queued up, but Beaver's going to come down pit road. Squilliam stays out for another lap. Now I'm curious to see, is Beaver going to take tires here or just enough fuel to make it till the end as we click off lap 17, 18 minutes left to go. My goodness, what a painfully slow pit road speed. 35 miles an hour as Beaver hits his box. Is it just going to be fuel for that number 10 machine? Out of his pit stall, 15.22 seconds, only fuel. The now top five, Squilliam, Aguilar, Carver, DC, and Downey, have not come down pit road yet. Let's see if Squilliam hits his box this time by. Maybe a good call as he's got a little bit of traffic ahead. He's got Joe Albanese, AJ, who sit 15th and 14th. Not too far ahead, so could bode well for Squilliam if he comes down pit road this time by. Maybe looking for a little bit of clean track coming out of pit road. AJ the 45 coming down pit road as well as Squilliam. Does Aguilar follow suit? And interesting what Carver does in the 079, our hard charger, who's up 18 spots. Looks like Aguilar stays out looking for clean track. He's going to cut around a little bit of lap traffic here. Williams down pit road. DC joins on pit road. Looks like Alex Carver stays out as well. That's going to be his 19th spot gain, but still has to come down pit road. Now, I've seen Aguilar in the past make some beautiful pit call strategies before. I've also seen Aguilar run out of gas in a feature event before, so not sure which way the coin's going to fall on this one for the 72. pit strategy develop. DC rolls out of pit road. Most drivers in and out of their pit stalls in about 14, 15 seconds. Not seeing anybody as of yet who has taken tires. Urco may have in the 33 machine. Aguilar, your race leader, has yet to come down pit road. He's going to stay out for another lap here. He's got a fair amount of clean track ahead. You can see Joe Albanese on the track map in the bottom right. He's in 14th. Quite a bit ahead of Aguilar. Alex Carver, he's down pit road in the 079. So that's just going to leave Aguilar, John Downey, and Garlic Dog, the three drivers who have yet to box. Aguilar out front, Downey running 5th, Garlic Dog running 6th. And everyone else has come down pit road now. I do think McAllister in 8th, and I believe, Black Bob Wallace in 11th. They're going to have to box once more. They came down pit road on lap 1 after some big incidents. And as we said, it makes it a bit of an uphill battle for these drivers. Now, average pit lane time, about 43 seconds by the time these drivers cross the entrance cones to the time they cross the exit cones. Aguilar 22.5 seconds ahead of Squilliam. Where is this going to put Aguilar after he needs to pit? But he's going to stay out even longer. Just shy of 27 minutes in this main event, but Aguilar does have a little bit of damage on the back of that 72 as well. I wonder how that's going to affect the aero for the race leader. As I believe Squilliam and Beaver closing the gap very slightly. Looks like Garlic Dog is going to come down pit road for his one and only planned stop in that 199 machine. Quickly falling back to 8th, 9th, 10th. Down the standings goes Garlic Dog. Now, not all is over for Garlic, as there are 2 drivers in front of him who have yet to box, and 2 additional drivers who came down on lap 1 to their pit stall. So Garlic may be able to very easily get back inside the top 10. As the crowd waits to see if this is going to be the lap where Aguilar comes down pit road. Squilliam gaining about a second this lap on your race leader. And man, not sure what the strategy here is, but Aguilar really stretching the run out. Maybe looking for lap times as the fuel load continues to drop. And if Aguilar's set up well, that will also mean less fuel he has to take to make it till the end. But is the gamble worth it, as Squilliam and Beaver continuously closing that gap in 2nd and 3rd? Now down to 21 seconds between race leader Aguilar and 2nd place Squilliam. John Downey, the number 99 machine, coming down pit road for his first and only planned stop. Got a bit of a race shaping up between Edmund Dust and McAllister. That'll be the battle, I believe, for, 5th, as they pass Downey, who's down on pit road. 3/10 separating the 5th and 6th place drivers now. Not too far back, there's DC, Simply Steve, and Black Bob Wallace having a battle for 7th. Check in on DC, the number 3, our lone Canadian out on track. He's got Simply Steve breathing down his neck in the 023. Not too far back, that's also Wallace in the 666 machine. Aguilar, your race leader down pit road. Where will he be out on track compared to Squilliam and Beaver running second and third? Aguilar still in his pit stall. Squilliam making his way around the final corner down the start-finish line straight. Oh, Aguilar just getting to his pit stall. That's going to give the race lead back to Squilliam. Beaver will take over second. Now Aguilar was 2 to 3 seconds faster in his stall compared to the top two drivers, but I'm wondering if maybe Aguilar really needed to get some repairs done, but didn't have enough time as you're on board with the race leader who's getting ready to lap through a little bit more traffic here. That's 16th place AJ in the 45, not too far ahead of your race leader. As now the pit cycle is completed, it's Squilliam, Beaver, Aguilar, 1, 2, 3. Carver, your hard charger, he's in fourth in the 079 up 17 spots. And Edmund Dust will hold on to the top 5. I said Edmund Dust was going to hold on to the top 5. He's got company from McAllister. These two of the closest drivers out on the circuit. Well, as I say that, there's multiple battles shaping up. You got Edmund Dust and McAllister battling for 5th. You've got DC and Simply Steve nose to tail for 7th. And you've also got Nicolator and Urko nose to tail for 9th. So 3 very close battles here at Okayama. Oh, here we go. McAllister down pit road for the second time of the night. That's going to give 6th to DC as McAllister falls back to 8th. Urko and Nicolator side by side. Urko holding on to the 9th place spot after taking it from Nicolator. Will Nicolator fire back here? Works the draft, looks to the outside line. Urko goes defensive into turn 1. This is the great racing we've all come to see. We've also got more action up front. Looks like Squilliam has company. Here comes Beaver in the number 10. Looking to challenge for the race lead here. Three-tenths separating the top two. Now in the opening stint, we saw Beaver just kind of pacing behind Squilliam. Are we going to see the battle for the lead? Is Beaver going to take it safe behind Squilliam? These drivers were very, very close on pace, but Beaver definitely is able to put down a little bit faster lap times in the opening sprint. So I think Beaver knows he has the pace here. Beaver's fastest lap of the race on 122.48. Squilliam on 122.57. With less than 6 minutes left to go in this event, what is going to happen? Is Beaver willing to risk it? I think Beaver might play it a little bit safe here. He picked up the win in the sprint. He had the points lead coming into tonight. Both drivers up 6 spots. Carver still up 17 as our hard charger. As you can see, Squilliam trying to break the draft. Oh, this is going to be dicey with lap traffic ahead as they all head into the hairpin. I believe that's McMurk and maybe Prince Adam just ahead of the race leaders. Not a ton of room to overtake here at Okayama. This is going to be doubly tough. The blue flag is going to be out for McMurk and Adam. But they're in their own battle for position here, battling for 14th as the race leaders barreling up from behind. William and Beaver have to be very careful where they're going to try and navigate traffic. Now that being said, Squilliam might be a little bit more apt to lick the stamp and send it here to try and put a little bit of traffic between himself and Beaver, a bit of a buffer, if you will. Oh, that is not what we want to see. Around goes Squilliam, nose into the wall. Beaver takes over the race lead. William looks like he's going to be able to hold on a second, still about 15 seconds up over Ray Aguilar. That is not what we want to see, but we're going to see it again anyway. Take a look at the number 6 machine. What was your race leader? Does he grab too much curbing? Or maybe a bit of dirty air? Sends it around. Beaver narrowly avoids getting to the back of the number 6. And unfortunately, Squilliam's going to tag that inside wall, so getting a little bit of aero damage. And his battle for the lead is all but over. Another battle, though, a 3-car battle for 5th is Edmund Dust, DC, and Simply Steve, separated by less than a half second. Steve takes a peek. Oh, locks up the brakes, almost getting the back of DC. You can tell Simply Steve really wants to make this happen. And I think after that moment, DC says, I've got to get on this, try and get around Edmund Dust in 5th if I can. Otherwise, Steve's going to keep barreling in behind me. So now your top 5 is Beaver, Squilliam, Aguilar. Your top 3, Carver and Edmund Dust, round out the top 5. As Simply Steve showing all sorts of aggressiveness here. Trying to get a little bit further up in the standings. Less than 3 minutes left to go before we cap off the night. And there we go, DC and Simply Steve side by side. DC still holding on to it. Steve tries the outside line. Can he make it stick as DC fires back up? Oh, both drivers a little bit of a wiggle. Possibly a little bit of netcode as they're side by side. Looks like Simply Steve's going to have the space going into the hairpin. Is DC going to throw it in? No, he backs out of it, tucks in behind Simply Steve. What an insanely wild night here at Okayama, the Notice Me Senpai Sprint. As man, now Simply Steve struggles to keep the back end underneath them. DC sees an opening to the inside line. Steve pushes a little bit wide but carries the momentum. So Simply Steve has worked his way squarely into 6th, but that has given a 1.5 second advantage to Edmund Dust in 5th. As you're on board with DC, the number 3, the lone Canadian still up 5 spots, still having a great race here. As Nick Beaver, your race leader, a 10.6 second advantage. Let's go a little bit further back in the field. We also have a 3-car battle for 14. It's McMurk, Prince Adam, and AJ. Separated by less than a half a second. Oh, there goes. I think that was Prince Adam. Yes, big problems for the 13 machine. Gets it spun around, waits for a safe moment to rejoin. But man, Beaver narrowly missing the white flag there. I believe the white flag will be out now. As we get ready to click the clock over to the 40-minute mark, I believe this is going to be the last lap for race leader Beaver. An 11.5-second advantage over Squilliam. As the newcomer Aguilar looking good for a third-place finish. Again, I believe this is the first debut for Raymond Aguilar. Yes, we do not show him as any previous results. The Beaver, I think, is going to take it nice and easy here, navigating traffic. And no big hurry. He's got just about a 12-second advantage over second-place Squilliam. Does not want to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The Beaver will make his way around the final 2 corners here at Okayama. And Nick Beaver makes it back-to-back the Notice Me Senpai Sprint Series. Gotta be pumped with that one. Squilliam is gonna bring home second. And Aguilar at pace there at the end, closes the gap to 2.5 seconds behind Squilliam, and will round out our top 3. Beaver enjoying the moment here. A massive, massive win, making it back-to-back. As we wait for Aguilar to get to the waiting room as well as Beaver. And it looks like the gang is all here. Let's get the replays queued up. As we're going to start things off with Raymond Aguilar and the Taco Bell Back 72. Ray, welcome to the top 3. First podium here at the J2ICS. And first time I've seen the Radical, but I'd say a fantastic way to kick things off here.
Yeah, I got out of the truck, went up to the trailer, got in the car, and started the race. I had basically no time in this car beforehand, but it's an incredible car. It's really fun. This league's really fun. They put on a good show.
Yeah, I mean, we had great racing all across the field. You were starting to track down Squilliam there towards the end, but as your debut here, what was the expectations, and how do the results match up to those expectations?
I just wanted to not tick off as many people as possible. I was trying not to get in anybody's way or get in any trouble. And at the end of the day, I almost accomplished that in the first race, but I got into a little bit of a problem there. But I think if I can get a little bit of time in this car to practice, I think I can at least hang on the same dimension as Beaver and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, looking forward to that. You've always been quick. You've always been aggressive. So it's going to be interesting to see how that translates to the Radical SR8. But, man, good to have you out here. A great showing to kick things off in the 72. And before we let you go and celebrate with the rest of the hooligans, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make this third place possible for you?
Taco Bell, they were the ones that put the show together tonight. Again, hand-cooked tires, our favorite tire supplier, everybody's favorite. And Team Goon Squad for putting on a good show with Just Two Idiots Racing League.
Well, always a great time, Ray. Good having you back up here, and hope to see you back up here next week.
Yep, thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Ray Aguilar bringing it home in third. Up next, we've got Squilliam and the number 6 with a second place. Back-to-back runner-up, but, I mean, besides that one incident, a almost flawless race out here in the feature event.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was really disappointing, to be completely honest. Beaver's been kicking my butt all season, and I really thought I had him that one. So definitely really disappointing, but still happy with 2 second places. And, it slowly seems to be becoming the norm, and I hope I can change that sometime soon.
Now, we don't want to pour salt in the wound, but kind of walk us through what happened there. Was it overheated tires? Was it too much aggressiveness on the throttle? What had the back end step out?
Yeah, what I think it was is there's that double hairpin at the end of the lap before. I just kind of heated the tires up, and it felt fine through the last corner and in turn 1, and so I didn't really think anything of it. And then when I went through turn 2, it just kind of gave out on me. It was really random, to be honest. So I tried to correct and save it, but at that speed, it's just no way.
Well, hey, glad to see you're able to salvage the race from it. Not too much damage on the front of that number 6 machine and able to keep things going. And going back and forth between the Radical SR8 and the Endurance Series here at the J2ICS, how tough is that to get adapted to different cars each and every week?
It's definitely challenging. Especially going from something with a ton of downforce to a GT3 that really doesn't. When we used to have LMP2, doing like F3 and LMP2 side by side was easier, but it's definitely a little bit more challenging. You're going from a car with lots of downforce and no ABS to a car that has relatively less downforce and ABS, which is just a whole different scenario. So very different driving styles for sure.
Awesome. Hey, great to have you back up here twice in a night. A great evening, all things considered. And before I let you go and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout to that helped bring home 2 second place finishes for you and the team tonight?
Honestly, shout out to all those guys in that battle in the first 5 laps. That was the most insane thing I've ever participated in. I had a grin on my face the whole time. I'm pretty sure it was maybe Raymond and Alex, or Raymond and Eat My Dust, I think, actually. Shout out to those guys for some incredibly clean, fun racing.
Well, hey, a lot of fun for us up in the booth. I know the fans were enjoying it as well. Squilliam, good to have you back up here, and hope to have you back up here next week as well for the Endurance.
Yep. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Squilliam bringing it home in second, but up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Beaver, making it back-to-back wins here at Okayama. Welcome back to the top spot, and what a wild race here. 40 minutes of nonstop action.
Yeah, oh my God. From beginning, start to finish, I was on my toes. Gosh, I feel so bad for Squilliam because I know that, without the mistake, this race was his. I was pushing as hard as I could, and I could not catch him. I think he roasted his rear tires, and I roasted my fronts. So with that combination, it was a whole accord. I mean, it's like a slinky. I couldn't get any closer than a certain distance, and gosh, with I don't know 5 or 4 minutes left, I don't think I would have got him. Man, that was fun.
Now, I was going to ask, in the opening fuel stint, it seemed like you had the pace to run with Squilliam and kind of hung back a little bit, right now anywhere between 0.3 to 0.6 back. Was that a fuel-saving strategy, or were you watching the lines, or was that just everything you had and Squilliam found some pace in that feature event?
Yeah, he definitely had the pace, and we talked about this after the first one. He was behind me for a while, and he said that Dirty Air was so aggressive that he couldn't catch me, and I got a taste of my own medicine this time. The entire race, as long as I was behind him, I couldn't get a run, and I couldn't get any closer than I was. Really, all I could hope for was a mistake on his end, and that did come true. But I mean, I don't really hope for that, but if if I really wanted to win, that's what I'd want. It is a bummer to see, but man, he was so quick, couldn't catch him. Props to him. I am exhausted. I am so pooped.
Yeah, I mean, there was no breaks at all in the action on that one between the top 5 throwing haymakers at each other the entire race to have it and navigate lap traffic. You guys really didn't get a break, and I know you're super pumped extending the points lead here at the Sprint Series, back-to-back wins. You've got to be ecstatic, but before we let you sign off, you got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make this possible for you and the team?
once again, J2I, shout out to them, and special shout out to Squilliam for running an awesome race. He made it 90% of the way there. I'm hoping in the next couple races he makes that 100% because he's got the pace, and I think his time is coming.
Well, awesome. Hey, great having you up here. I had a lot of fun calling the action, and thank you guys for having me out, and hope to have you back up here at the Crown Jewel next week.
Yep, I hope so too. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you as always, Beaver.
Thank you.
And that was Nick Beaver bringing it home. Back-to-back wins here at the Okayama Senpai Sprint at the Just Two Idiots Cup Series. Again, every Wednesday night, weekly sprint and endurance series. And it was Beaver, Squilliam, and newcomer Raymond Aguilar bringing home the top three. On behalf of J2ICS.com as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name has been James East. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as supporting the broadcast. We couldn't do it without you, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.